This show is intended for mature audiences. It contains adult themes and references to emotional and physical abuse. Please listen with care.
A Dear Media original podcast.
You're listening to Good Morning Monster. Session 2. Mommy Dearest.
Shh, Fred.
I'm gonna be ready for Y2K no matter what it takes.
Do you plan to ring in the new year in your bunker?
Yes, sir, I do.
Is the coast
Got 3
clear,
months of
Fred?
supplies, even got champagne. Picking a bunker.
Good morning, monster. Up scrounging for food already, are we?
I wasn't.
A mother always knows when her daughter is lying, Madeline. So unless you want Fred's breakfast, I suggest you get ready for school. Someday, when you're older and not a fat pig, you'll thank me. You're hungry, too? The gluttony in this household. Well, you know what to do, Fred. Dance. Come on, no free lunch. Are you a stupid mutt or a star like your namesake, Fred Astaire?
Sorry, who's Fred?
Fred. He was my best friend. The only one who ever loved me.
Yeah, you didn't mention a Fred when we went through your history.
Oh, Fred is a dog.
Oh.
The best dog in the whole world. See?
Aw, he's very handsome. Quite dignified with that tie on his collar.
He was, wasn't he? I thought he looked like a little doggy businessman, like my father. He got food on it almost immediately, though. Actually, the only food we had in the house was Fred's. Well, that and olives for Mother's martinis. Mother always had a preoccupation with food. Still does. Whenever I'd sneak into the kitchen as a child to look for scraps of food, Mother would always be there. It was like she had some sort of Madeline hunger radar.
Did your mother force dietary restrictions on you?
Well, I would say she encouraged me to eat less, yes. But she prepared me for the world that we live in. Like it or not, this world belongs to the thin. And do you think all those magazines I've been in would photograph a big tub of lard? No.
I hope the world is becoming more body neutral than you're describing, but a big tub of lard? That's pretty harsh self-talk. Do you find that you struggle with...
At least my mother didn't make me dance for my supper like she did with Fred. It was cruel, but he was marvelous. So talented. Everyone on our street thought so. Pasquale, our gardener, he gave me Fred. Pasquale was... I'm sorry.
It's all right to get emotional in our sessions, Madeline. Your emotions are safe here. Where's that feeling coming from?
Thinking about Pasquale? I spent lots of time with him. He taught me to introduce myself to the flowers, ask their permission before cutting a bloom, and most importantly, to say thank you afterwards. He told me trees have feelings, and if we care for them, they'll care for us too. I still have a mild native plant obsession due to him.
1, 2, 3, 4.
You won't find me this time.
Seven, 8. I'm going to eat all the chocolates if I find you. 9.
If you can't, I get the last rose.
All right. 10. Ready or not, here I come. Miss Madeline, I have something special over there. Guess what?
What is it?
You have to guess.
Candy.
This is something you shouldn't eat. Come on, just around here. Careful now. He's very little and delicate, like you.
Oh my gosh, I love him. Is he for me?
Well, my dog just had puppies, and there are too many to go around. But ask your parents, of course.
Dad? Dad!
Did you see that swing, Maddie? My long game is gonna blow Liftland out of the water next time we play.
Dad,
Okay, what?
look. Look what Pasquale gave me. Please, please, can we keep him? Look, he's such a cute little baby. He's the cutest and littlest baby.
He is very, very cute. Did you ask your mother?
Did I hear my name? I couldn't help but feel my ears burning. What have you got there, little monster? Oh, is it some kind of rodent?
No.
How many times must I tell you, ladies don't grub around the garden? No man wants a woman with dirt under her fingernails, and you'll have a hard enough time as it is, unfortunately.
It's a puppy. Pasquale, he gave him to me. If that's okay.
It could be good for Maddie. But I told her to ask you. So...
I promise to take care of him. I'll walk him every day and give him baths, and I'll be extra good. I promise. I'll make sure my room is clean and everything is where it's supposed to be. Please, 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 can we keep him? Please, 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 can we keep him?
Well, it doesn't seem like the worst idea for you to have a pet.
Really?
Isn't that wonderful, Maddie?
You hear that? You get to stay here with me.
But you'll need to be on your best behavior. Make sure your studies don't suffer. Otherwise, the mutt will go back where he came from.
You seem so certain your mother wouldn't let you keep the dog.
Well, usually she went out of her way to make me miserable, but I think she saw Fred as an opportunity to really hold something over me. We named him after Fred Astaire because he was such a good little dancer. Coming home from school was completely different after Fred. I was amazed that someone could love me as much as Fred loved me. One time, Mother lifted her hand to hit me, and Fred growled. He was the only person who ever defended me. I'm sorry.
Hey, please don't apologize. Just sit in that feeling. That's what we're here to do. Tears are stress hormones leaving the body. They're a social cue that one needs help, and I'm here to help you, Madeline.
It's hard for me to discuss these things.
What's coming up for you?
Oh, what a mess. My goodness. Excuse me, Alexandru. Have you heard of something called a knock?
You are excused. Did not used to care if I knock. Open door policy, you said. But you are the one who changed the rules, not me. I want things the way they were.
Don't look at me like that. It makes me feel uncomfortable.
Sorry.
Just give me the coffee and go. Go! Go now!
Fine, I go. Vienna has Chinese chicken salad for you when you're done here.
So sorry, Dr. Gildener. My employees. Sometimes I wonder if I put "must be a lunatic" in their job descriptions. But then again, I need obsessive people in this line of work, and obsessive typically comes with a heaping dose of crazy. Anyway, where were we? Oh, do you want some lunch, by the way?
Well, I'll be fine, thank you.
Passing up a free lunch? Are you one of those people who finds cooking meditative or whatever?
No, I'm more of a takeout gal myself. Yeah, my mother never cooked, and I don't think I inherited the joy for it.
You and I are cut from the same cloth. I look at women in this city working, child rearing, and then cooking on top of that. I don't know how they do it. My family always ate out, and Mother didn't even work. Oh, yes, you wanted to know about my mother's problems with food. Well, it was an obsession, really. I believe she was, well, anorexic. And if I'm honest, she did force me to adopt a similar lifestyle.
Do you find you struggle with disordered eating now as an adult?
No more than any other woman in this city.
Growing up in an environment where disordered eating was normalized, it'd be easy to inherit similar tendencies, even if they're milder.
Well, maybe I do have a slightly unhealthy relationship with food, but I eat. You've seen me eat.
I'm not accusing you of anything. Do you feel you've inherited any of your mother's other compulsions surrounding physical appearance?
Well, Mother was obsessive about personal grooming. Basically had the waxer on speed dial. She started getting my eyebrows done when I was 10 years old.
Wow. Well, they are very thin.
But I like them that way. They make me feel like a darling of the silent screen. Maybe, as you put it, I have some milder versions of her compulsions, but I promise they're nowhere near as bad as hers. When we'd eat out, she'd chew her food and then spit it into a napkin and make me sneak to the bathroom trash.
How old were you when this started?
Honestly, I don't remember a time not doing it. She said it was our special mother-daughter secret. But at least the masticated food was in the best linen napkins money could buy.
Humor can be a great coping mechanism, but it also helps us downplay our emotions. Mothers and daughters often confide in each other, but this is much more than a secret. Your mother burdened you with the pathology of her eating disorder. Not only were you aware of it and forbidden to say anything, but she also made you complicit in her disease. Did you ever experience anxiety covering for her?
Excuse me, what are you doing? Wait, are you stealing our napkin? You're the Arlington girl, right? Okay, all right. Well, let's go. Gotta find your parents. I know your father could buy you 1,000,000 napkins. But yeah, go ahead and steal, little girl. Who cares? It isn't coming out of my paycheck.
You got lost on the way to the bathroom, Maddie?
Darling, glowering like that is very unbecoming.
I'm sorry to inform you that I caught your daughter stealing our napkin.
That's ridiculous. Why in the world would she steal your napkin?
Everything all right here? I hope everything is to your satisfaction, Mr. Arlington.
I caught this girl trying to shove a napkin into her pocket.
Well, I'm sure there's been some mistake. Madeline?
I'm so sorry for the napkin nonsense, gentlemen. I can explain what's going on. I'm sorry to say I was recently informed that Madeline has been stealing at school as well. Never marry a man who spoils his precious only child, So sorry for the brouhaha. My husband would like to buy all of your patrons a round of drinks as an apology for the inconvenience. And of course, your discretion will be remembered in perpetuity.
I remember the waiter's face when he opened the napkin and saw the masticated food. Utter repulsion. He carried it away with 2 fingers. Oh, I wasn't just a thief. I was also disgusting in his eyes. I felt ashamed, betrayed, and I was mortified I'd embarrassed my father in public. He had business associates dining there that night. I felt so alone, so powerless. But, well, then again, that's how most of my childhood felt.
Your mother transferred the anxiety of hiding her eating disorder to you. And when you were discovered, she betrayed you, dumping all the blame and guilt on you as well. There are several layers of betrayal here. You know, children have the right to feel protected by the adults in their lives, but your mother was only concerned about protecting herself.
I never felt safe as a kid.
Do you think your father suspected your mother was lying?
No. I mean, he always gave her the benefit of the doubt. But he did recommend that I spend more time with my grandmother. I'm not sure why. Maybe he was trying to outsource his parenting, or maybe on some level he knew I needed a different kind of female role model.
Oh, you don't need to inhale them, Madeline. You can have as many cookies as you'd like.
Okay, Grandma.
I'm glad your father suggested we spend more time together. It's good for you to get out of that house from time to time. We can learn so much from art. Look at this vase. How lovingly the mother holds her child. Ah, what dynasty is it again?
Qing.
Which period?
Qianlong.
Ah, very good. You'll be an antique shark yet. Some are gifted, loving parents, as portrayed by the exceptional gilt on this vase. And others have a more difficult upbringing. Look at Pamina in Flute. Her mother actually orders her to kill someone. Fabulous aria, terrible message. Disturbed mothers like that should be limited to operatic drama, not real life.
Can we go see another opera?
Of course. Let's see what COC is doing this season.
Inscrutability is a WASP specialty. My grandmother never outright said she disliked my mother, but I could tell she didn't approve. That was the best part about our visits. She wasn't on Mother's side. Well, that and the unlimited cookies.
It must have felt good to have an ally.
Yes. And they couldn't have been more different. My grandmother's home was impeccable, and she had real, meaningful passions. Antiques, operas, philanthropy. She filled my world with all kinds of art, taught me everything I know about antiques. Unlike my mother, who spent all the time she wasn't terrorizing me shopping or redecorating. My mother had horrendous taste, by the way, just short of Donald Trump's bathroom. There was nothing subtle or refined about her. It took a moving truck to bring Mother's furs out of storage every year, and it's not like her closet wouldn't hold them. She converted 2 bedrooms into a giant walk-in because the master closet wasn't enough. But she always got what she wanted. My father tried to confront her once about the decorating.
If we shake up the design of this old place, we're guaranteed a future. Luca was saying we should do some reupholstering, maybe even a quick kitchen reno. I guess everyone is going for cherry wood and dark green granite these days.
Darling, you have exceptional taste, but we already redecorated once this year. I'm sure El Decor will love what's here.
Well, Luca says they're looking for something more on trend.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
All right, then. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
And we're analyzing
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Well, you're right as always. We certainly need redecorating now. I will just be in the basement.
You don't need to see that, Miss Madeline. Come to the garden with me. I taught Fred to fetch.
They spent a small fortune on that renovation. For months, Mother was completely occupied with Luca, her gay interior designer friend. Only thing is, he wasn't really gay. Something I would have preferred to stay ignorant of.
Come on, Fred. Whoever gets to the pool house first wins.
Who do you think that is, Fred?
Your daughter's outside the window.
You little monster. No point hiding. I know you're out there.
I saw her straddling Luca that day in the pool house. I'll never forget the way she looked at me. Like she could smother me right there if she wasn't otherwise engaged. That's why she redecorated so much. I have to admit, saying he was gay was a pretty brilliant cover.
In here, Fred. Come on. She won't look in here. Fred, come.
I haven't seen her.
I'm not going to ask you again.
She might be in the garden shed.
You filthy little snoop. Thank you, Pasquale. That's all.
I'd be glad to stay.
You can go.
Yeah, okay.
What are you doing in the shed? I asked what you're doing in here.
I promise I won't say anything.
Say anything about what? I can't imagine what you think you saw. Go on. Tell Mommy what you think you saw. Tell me.
I saw you sitting on Luca and kissing him.
Oh, I don't know how you would know about such things at your age. Unless someone told you. Did Pasquale ever... Oh. Maybe it was your idea. Is that why you're in the shed? Oh, poor Pasquale. He must have felt so uncomfortable with you forcing your dirty fantasies on him.
I didn't do anything.
What will your father say? I really don't want to be the one to tell him what's been going on, but I must. He'll be horrified.
Please don't tell him. I swear I wasn't doing anything.
Oh, your father won't want Pasquale working for us after this. Congratulations, little monster. You just got Pasquale fired. Serves him right for getting us that stupid mutt.
When she implied I was doing dirty things with Pasquale, I never kissed Pasquale. But I think back to our time together, and I wonder if I said or did anything he might have misinterpreted. I might have been inappropriate without knowing. I still worry about what happened to him and his family after my father let him go. Pasquale had 2 girls my age.
From what you've described to me, Pasquale did nothing but show you kindness and attention. Do you remember ever feeling uncomfortable around him?
No. But I am still the reason he got fired. I made him uncomfortable. I feel dirty and disgusting when I even think about it.
Your mother twisted your reality and introduced topics that weren't appropriate for someone your age. You didn't do anything wrong. Charlotte projected her sexual behavior on you because she knew you'd feel ashamed. Shame is a silencer, especially in sexual situations. She killed 2 birds with 1 stone. She kept you quiet and got rid of Pasquale. I'm pretty sure your mother knew he was your ally. She wanted to bend your reality to suit her needs, and Pasquale was a threat to her power.
Maybe you're right. That's gaslighting, right?
Yes. It's a favorite tactic of people with narcissistic personality disorder. Now, obviously, I can't diagnose your mother without working with her directly, but I think she may be on the NPD spectrum.
But aren't we all narcissists to one extent or another? I'm literally paying you to listen to me talk about my problems.
No, you're right. It's a very overused word these days. But there's a difference between narcissistic, okay, not that seeking mental health treatment is narcissistic, by the way, and someone with full-blown narcissistic personality disorder. People with NPD have very fragile egos, despite seeming exceedingly confident and charming on the outside. They don't have typical ego defenses, so they're constantly on the attack, and they'll use any method available, no matter how brutal or immoral. Gaslighting is one method they use to destabilize perceived threats.
I assume my version of events was wrong. Maybe there's been some sort of misunderstanding, like my grandma said, or I was being too stupid to understand what I did wrong.
That's a very common feeling living with a narcissist. People with NPD constantly play games with rules others don't understand. But the problem is, they believe everyone else is playing the same game. They just think they're the best player. Anything, no matter how seemingly small, can be perceived as an affront to their ego, making their approval and rage incredibly arbitrary. So their responses are typically disproportionate. It's a trigger-happy defense. A narcissist would use an Uzi to kill a fly.
I'm glad my mother never got her hands on any firearms.
You weren't going to tell your father about Luca, but why would your mother trust you when she believes everyone lies just as much as she does? The fact you even put words to your mother's actions was enough. She needed to bury you, needed to make you feel despicable, terrorize and shame you. And then she fired an innocent man to convince you that you were the dirty and wrong one, not her. With you unsure of your reality, she could be confident in your silence.
Sorry, I feel I'm completely revising moments from my childhood.
I know, it can be a lot to take in.
It makes so much sense.
What's your relationship like with your mother now? Does she use similar tactics?
Mother has certainly mellowed with age, but she can always be counted on to kick you while you're down. I get giant red hives around my neck whenever she's around. Exhibit A. But at least my scarf collection's getting some fresh air now that she's living with me.
Madeline, those hives look bad. I don't think you mentioned...
Well, I believe that's our time for today. I have another meeting.
Okay, well, before you rush out, I want to confirm you said your mother is living with you?
Yes. Same time next week?
Good Morning Monster is a Dear Media production, produced with Wolf at the Door, based on Catherine Gildner's literary work, Good Morning Monster. Starring Britt Lauer as Cathy, Aya Cash as Madeline, Dan Stevens as Duncan, and Judith Light as Charlotte. This episode also features Alejandro Antonio Ruiz, Jack Baca, Nana Visitor, Pun Bandu, Quincy Dunbaker, Richard Cancino, Richard Tatum, Robin Reed, and Zeke Alton. Good Morning Monster was executive produced, written, and created by Catherine Gildner. The show was written and produced by Alexandra E. Hartman. Directed and produced for Dear Media by Laura Ramaday. Executive produced by Winnie Kemp, Alex Kemp, and Chica Barbosa for Wolf at the Door. Executive produced for Dear Media by Jocelyn Falk, Paige Port, Lauren Bostick, and Michael Bostick. Casting by Kate Geller, CSA, assisted by Ross Schenker. Music composition by Daniel Brunell. Dialogue editing by Darren Bowling. Sound design and mix by Josh Falcon. Recording engineering by Bo Milkus. Associate produced for Wolf at the Door by Makutsi Rakundo. If you enjoyed this episode, please follow on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts and leave a rating and review.